Welcome back to another episode of Men's Inner Health. The last couple of episodes were firstly the introduction to men's inner health. The second one was about external and internal anger that we men are well known for. The idea of the men's inner health is to look at the deeper issues, the deeper emotional issues that we all have, particularly us men, although guess what? We're not very good at the emotional side of life. We've been taught from knee-high to grasshopper that we've got to be stoic and strong and can't show vulnerability and macho and all those wonderful qualities, and they're good qualities. They sometimes get men into lots of trouble. The idea is, how do we men learn to navigate our emotional brains? That's the purpose, the ongoing journey. I sort of jokingly say to people when I first meet them in sessions, when I'm putting up the model, I wanted to be enlightened before I was 30, and guess what? I'm still waiting. So this is a journey. There are no quick fixes. There's no easy fixes in doing this emotional work. It's like everything. The more we practice it, the better at it we get. The hardest part is for us men to learn to open up about our emotions. We tend to shut down. We tend to just pretend as if they don't exist. Like, there are positive emotions and there's negative emotions. The negative emotions aren't pleasant. They're like hell, really. To be honest, they're absolute shit. However, we can't have one without the other. We can't have sadness without happiness, joy without tears. We all tend to push away the old negative emotions. These negative emotions, generally, they're quite painful, and I understand that it's interesting in our brain, the emotional pain is also registered in the same part of the brain as the physical pain. However, with physical pain, we sort of know it's going to go away. Yeah, it'll hurt for a while, but this emotional pain can be longer lasting. And yeah, look, a lot of the pain we can get starts off early in life. If you've been lucky and had a good upbringing, yeah, great. If you haven't, and I'm not sure whether all men have had we've had an okay upbringing, but our fathers knew what it was like. Our fathers sort of tried to sort of soften us up for what's to come. Well, harden us up, maybe not soften. And I think for men, I always call it the poison chalice. We've been handed down the poison chalice from forefather to forefather to forefather. And it'd be really interesting, and it'd be wonderful if that could stop. To stop handing down that tough, harden me up type attitude. Yeah, it's helpful, but good Lord, it does cost. It can cost our self-esteem. It can cost our sense of purpose. We never get it right. We're always getting it wrong. And that early information We're like sponges growing up as kids, where our emotional brain is soaking all this information up. And the information, it's not good. It's really difficult for us to navigate to. It sort of it sets the die is cast, so to speak. And that die is cast. It's like it runs on a subconscious tape. I look at the emotional brains as two encrypted magnetic tapes, invisible magnetic tapes. And we've got this thinking brain trying to compute this encryption which it can't compute. Or there's a little piece of the jigsaw puzzle, but the intellectual brain can't find that piece. Now, finding that piece of the jigsaw puzzle, encrypting it is learning to be with the emotional language, perhaps. How do we process these difficult emotions? When we're emotionally hurt, that can be a real trigger. It can trigger, if the hurt is really bad, sometimes from a mental health perspective, people develop what they call borderline personality disorder traits or antisocial personality disorder traits. They'll hurt first rather than be hurt. Now, I'm not saying that's, there are men and women that are experiencing those characterological traits, that mental health. But what I want to look at is, we are hurting. When we do have hurts, that hurt, they are negative. They're negative emotions. Instead of locking them away and disowning them, how do we start having a relationship with them? How do we learn to actually talk about them? Yes, anger might be a part of the process, and that's okay in a healthy release of anger, not at someone. But how do we stop and breathe and really connect to the deep inner hurt that's sitting in under there? How do we express that? How do we talk about that? Sometimes when we're talking about it, we might get emotional. And how do we just allow the emotion to just wash through? There's nothing wrong with the emotion. We're okay about the emotion of laughter. We all laugh. But as men, we've got a problem with this emotion of sadness or difficult emotions that might come out as tears. How do we just gently surrender, breathe into that, and allow the tears to come if they need to come? Be gentle and enjoy.